You're listening to the right episode if you want to hear what Dave Holland is doing in today's market to have massive success. His numbers are very impressive. He is an owner, operator, and has become a good friend. He is a Freedom Club member. And you're listening to the right episode if you say, hey, I want to hear what somebody who's crushing it today is doing to have big success. I am your host, Steve Kyles. You're listening to the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast, powered by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. Dave, what's up, my man?
Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Brother, I am so excited to have you on the podcast. I know we got to hang for a few minutes at the Asheville Freedom Club event. And so, man, when I saw you there and you were telling me, I know your team is doing great, man. You guys threw up a cool $15 million just on your team and averaging about 12 to 15 million a month for your personal production team. And you got a great company that's throwing up 25 to 30 million a month. And, you hear so many people say, it's a tough market. It's a hard market. Man, where'd the business go? And when I talk to you, I'm just so encouraged. I'm like, brother, you're killing it.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's get you on the podcast. Let's hear your story and encourage our listeners, man. So welcome to the Loan Officer Leadership Podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on.
Hey, well, listen, I want to dive right in. So for anybody who is not familiar with who you are, which I know many of our Freedom Club members are because you're such a great contributor to content, to ideas, to leadership. Tell our listeners who may not know you, tell them your story. I know you're 23 years in the business. Tell them, how did you get to where you're at, when you joined the Freedom Club, and a little bit more about you.
Real quick, I'll do it in a minute or less. Studying for the LSTATs out of college, I wanted to be an attorney. Realized pretty quickly I'd be a mediocre attorney at best. So got in the mortgage business. One offer was 100% commission, no health insurance base salary. Another offer was $1,000 a month in health insurance. So I moved from Erie, PA, where I grew up, to Pittsburgh, lived in my grandparents' basement for about 14 months, crawled my way out of there, worked hard, and then started Holland Mortgage in 2005. Became bigger and bigger over the years, joined the Freedom Club in 2018. Like many people probably listening, I was kind of a little broken, too much work, not enough balance. My wife was about to have our fourth kid, and it was the right time. And I've scaled my business from 40 million to, in the heights of the refi boom, almost 200 million, beyond my wildest imagination.
Yeah.
I put in the hard work, but you're going to ask me what's my secret, and there's no secret. I think about this from time to time because I get asked this a lot, and the secret is it's the Freedom Club Mortgage Marketing Animals. It's the DSP. It's scaling. It's letting go. It's all the things that we talk about day in and day out. So that's the secret. The secret is your guys' model and what I've learned.
Hey, well, David, I love, what's so fun is as you're growing and you're seeing things happen in your business, you're so humble, because what I see from this vantage point and this perspective is not only are you a top producing loan officer who has a remarkable team, but you're an owner operator. That takes you wear two different hats.
Sure.
It's always, I'm growing the business, and then I got my own business, which is leading results and makes me more attractive because people are attracted to results, man.
Sure.
So what are you looking at today? Like you're funding a low month, 12 million, which is, brother, phenomenal for you and your team. And on a good month, 15, $20 million for your team. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you're focused on right now? The market clearly shifted in the last 12 to 18 months. So what are you doing? What do you wake up and say, man, if I do this, it moves the needle?
Well, when I wake up every day, I shared with you before, I kind of wake up cold, hungry, and slightly scared.
This is good. Yes.
Well, I'm like everyone, right? I mean, when business was down in the first quarter, be up like at 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, thinking, where'd my business go? And then I came to the realization that 100 agents that I've worked with for 10 plus years, who I know, like, and trust, and the feeling's mutual, we've always done great work together. They just didn't unilaterally abandon me one day. Business was down. So when I wake up every day, I'm thinking, where's the next transaction? Where's the next relationship I can make? it's the basic stuff, right? It's the boring blocking and tackling. It's the thank you cards. It's asking your past customers for reviews, because reviews matter, especially when you get a couple hundred on the board.
Yeah.
It's making the phone calls. I don't do the entire DSP myself. The team helps me, because at any given time I could have 40 to 80 transactions in my pipeline. But
Hmm.
I look at every transaction. I kind of know where they're at ish, and I try to call a lot of the agents at least once or twice during the transaction to touch base and thank them for the business. So what I do pretty much all day, Steve, is I manage my team, and I'm on the phone probably, not an exaggeration, 4 or 5 hours a day,
Mm.
calling my realtor partners, calling past customers, calling financial planners, accountants. So I'm constantly, I'm not obnoxious about it, but there's always a small call to action at the end of every call. And I'm genuinely trying to help my realtor partners too, because
Yeah.
they're if we're hurting, they're
Yeah.
hurting.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, brother, I want to unpack. I literally just wrote 6 things down, so I want you to unpack this for us.
sure,
You said something that was really interesting. You and I are about the same. You're 23 years in. I think I'm 21, 20-ish. You know what's interesting last year, Dave? And I don't think we caught it fast enough until it was like our businesses came to a screeching halt. It was like, dude, what happened to all of the volume? It was almost like the spigot on the water hose literally just shut off.
sure,
And you're saying it's basics and fundamentals, but I think the industry still doesn't know about the power of the qualified Focus 40 agent.
sure,
The reality is, how many of us have so many agents that have referred us business and used to be qualified. They used to close 8 or more buy side transactions, but because of the shift in the market today, they're not qualified.
sure.
And Dave, they know you, they like you, they trust you. They'll go to your happy hour, your lunch and learn. They'll take your phone call. And then you're like, man, they must be cheating on me. And they're not cheating on us. They don't have any business.
They don't. I mean, I use MMI. MMI in my market's not great, so I use Zillow as a reference point.
Yeah.
Uh, and some of my agents, they've not closed anything since June, May, April. Um, so it's not like they don't have the business for you. And a lot of times they don't have I feel like the realtors don't have as much control as they once did as well too.
Mm,
Because this market's oversaturated now with both realtors and mortgage professionals. So
mm,
I always say to my team, because I coach a lot of my people, and we have a weekly sales call with all the loan officers, is we're going to win by attrition, right?
mm.
If we stick in it, do the fundamentals, the full-time loan officer will win by attrition.
Man. Hey, and you know what's interesting too is that for those of you who are Freedom Club members, let me just remind you of the content we have. Because Dave, I did a class yesterday. We had a whole bunch of agents. I did 4 talking points to help your buyers and sellers get motivated to buy now instead of wait. And I think for our agents, there's a couple of things. We have done for you content like that on the Freedom Club website, where you can literally grab that PowerPoint, go teach it to your agents. But I was even thinking about this, Dave. Some of our agents that were qualified, it's not their fault. They didn't know. They didn't realize the power of prospecting. And we have a DSP for realtors that you literally can. Yesterday, that was my call to action. It was, hey, if you send me a follow-up email, I'm going to give you a copy of a realtor DSP and what you can do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to literally help your business grow. Because what I think happened was, Dave, they were pretty good agents, but until they build the process of sales, which is what you're doing, man, you got a sales process. You wake up on Monday, you know who you're calling, you know what you're doing. And I think a lot of our agents are unaware of that. That's a foundation, a building block, and they've stumbled into being qualified kind of just by being a big personality. And now it takes process, it takes consistency and a calendar to know what activity to do. Talk about that.
Absolutely. So I usually look at my pipeline. I get it every morning,
Yeah.
uh, and I pick 4 or 5 agents to call to give them an update, a
Yeah.
couple customers to call to touch them, and then I look at my whole entire list of a couple hundred agents who've referred me within the last year. And
Yeah.
if I've not touched them for a while, I try to call them. So it's constant like that. It's constantly staying in front of people, being organized with last dates you called, and then I'm doing, like you said, happy hours, small lunch and learns, big brunch and learns, and that stuff moves the needle as well too, because realtors like to get together and socialize.
Love it. Hey, talk about your team. I think it's interesting. You almost say, like, why you're having great success, because you're focused on sales and none of the sales fulfillment.
Sure.
And there's no way you could close 12, anywhere from 12 to 18, 15, 20, that high teens range by yourself. So when you're building your team, what are some of the things you're looking for, and what does your team look like right now, your personal production team?
Sure. I mean, I'd start off by saying you need a good company that will support you, right? That you can step out of the fulfillment role and know stuff is going to get finished, right? And close, because that's my value proposition. It's the Freedom Club. Close on time, follow up with your leads quickly, keep you informed through the entire process. Easy to stay, harder to do, right?
Hey, isn't that funny?
Right.
That's funny, man. That's execution.
Well, that when I meet with the realtor, that's what I talk about, and that's the truth. And that's what they want, Steve. They don't care about great rates or some crazy USDA rehab program. No one cares.
Yeah.
So
isn't that amazing? We try to make it more. Carl always says, "Don't be clever, be Bob."
Sure,
and it's really the three things, man: close on time, clear communication, great follow up. You do that, agents will trip over things to get to you.
Sure. And I'm Bob, right? You guys told me what to do.
Yeah.
And I just did it slowly over the course of 5 years. So,
which, by the way, hey, let me just say kudos to you, man, to go from 40 million to well over 100 million, touching 200 million. It just, I got to tell you, it's just like you said, it's easy to say, harder to do, and you're a doer. And so great job.
Well, and I appreciate you guys. You took me to this place where my personal life is better, and so is my business life. So it's a win. It works, but you need a company you can let go, that you can delegate. The loan's going to get closed. Listen, I have to get involved in a couple files a week. Something goes sideways. That's you can't predict, you can't anticipate. But at the core, I have four. We call them the gang of four really good managers at my company who handle everything for me. So I'm not running my company. It's being run by my high-level managers. On my team, I have 5 ladies who are my loan partners. They all got, 5 or 10 years experience. They've all went through Irene's WOW training.
Yeah.
Anyone who works for me after 6 months, if I like them, I spend the money and send them to Irene's WOW training. And that's very impactful too. I coach them. And then once they get to a point, they coach the other LPs on my team. So, my model is they handle the deal from the very beginning, from when the phone rings to the very end. But the processors pick it up, obviously. But basically everything you taught, that's what we do. I mean, they field the calls. My realtors don't call my cell phone generally. We have a funnel, team email, Ring Central, team phone number, text friendly, answering service. Basically everything you guys taught us, and it works. But it's got to happen over time, because it's so hard to kind of like step away from your business. You feel like it's going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
But I went to Hawaii for 3 weeks last summer, and I thought I'd have to work every day. So I was getting up at 4 because of the time change, right? 6 or 7 hours. I get up at 4, work till 7:30 or 8, and that's it.
Yeah.
My team handled it. I mean, we closed more loans in July and August when I was away. So I think I'm kind of the problem sometimes. If I just kind of step out of the way and let them do their thing, it works. But it takes time. You aren't going to start, today and have it all dialed in by the fall. It's going to take you a little bit of time.
Yeah, but what's interesting, Dave? We're not, and I love Carl says this all the time. We're not building tents; we're building castles.
Absolutely.
And over the last 5 years, you've built something of massive significance, which is NFL type money. Like the ability to have unlimited income, that if you'll consistently over time implement a handful of simple to easy follow process structure, you'll get massive results. Hey, and one thing, I'm reading a book right now, and I would encourage, I don't know if you've read it. It's called The Gap in the Game by Dan Sullivan. Dude, it's so good.
I'm writing it down.
Dude, The Gap in the Game. Dave Savage told me about it a couple of weeks ago. We spent the day together, and he's like, bro, you got to listen to this book. And man, Dave, it's it is so powerful because you know what I think we do, Dave? And the book talks about it. Even in parenting, we measure ourselves against the ideal, and it becomes a gap. Like,
Sure.
oh man, like Dave, how many of us, like for me, I'm a producing branch manager building a network, just like you're an owner operator, and we're all recruiting people, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm not where I wanted to be. Instead of looking back and saying, man, look at where we've come in the last 2 years that we've started at zero to where we're at now. And when you look at your life and say, man, I'm not measuring against the ideal of where I hoped to be, but the gain of where I've come from, which talks to the longevity of building your business. We want instant, overnight, Instagram, TikTok success. And to build a business of significance, you don't, how do you get out of the frustration and the discouragement is, heck, look at where we were in January. Look at our volume from February and March and April and May, and June was a great month, and July is a great month, and we're making profit. We're doing well. And I think what we've got to do too, Dave, we've got to measure the gain, even if it's only in inches versus
Sure.
the ideal of where we hoped to be. And I think so many people get discouraged with that. They're like, dude, I'm not closing what I used to close. And instead of saying, man, in the
No
toughest
one is.
market, yeah, well, listen, you encouraged me the other day at Freedom Club, and I'm like, bro, in the toughest market, in the toughest environment, where we've literally had to redo our entire businesses, we've had to let go of non-producing loan officers, we've had to hire the right people. Look at where we're at.
We're still here.
Yes.
We're still profitable.
Look at the
we're still doing it.
Yes. So, hey, I have a question for you. What do you wish you would have known? What if you could go back 4 or 5 years ago and tell yourself, two things. What do you wish you would have known when you first started with the Freedom Club and really started digging deep to build your business?
Let go quicker. Let go of the files quicker. Right now, I can pop in a file in literally less than 90 seconds. Read the notes, look at the status symbols, the status updates, and I know where the file's at. Right. So let go quicker. I was too involved in the files, and my people are amazing. My team's amazing. So let go quicker, and maybe implement quicker. Right.
Okay.
I was hesitant to hire more loan partners because I was always worried I would lose money on them. But the more people I hired, the more
more money you made.
the more money I made.
Hey, well, listen, go deeper into this. I want to go just deeper into let go quicker. Like, give me some tactics. How would you let go quicker? So getting out of the files. Yeah. And I hear myself saying this. The old Steve would have said, but Dave, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself.
Well, you got to hire the right people, right? And
boom.
My people are highly trained. Like 3 of them are former processors.
Yeah.
Either at my company or that I met. So they understand the process better than me. Now, can they strategize and figure things out, like put together like a hard file and reshape it? No, maybe not, but that's like 1 out of 20, right? They know the files forwards and backwards because they're processors, but they can talk on the phone, and they're talented in that respect.
Hey, well, I think you just nailed it. With somebody saying, hey, I just can't trust it to get done. It's not getting done. Man, if you got to do it right, you got to do it yourself. Those are indicators of, I think, exactly what you just said. You got to have the right who helping you so that you can have the confidence to let go quicker.
So I don't know who said it in the Freedom Club. It might have been Carl, might have been someone else. You need to be willing to lose the next deal, right? Or
hey, talk about that. That's so powerful.
Well, so I finally got to a point where I said to myself, I'm okay losing this deal because maybe my one loan partner, I can sell better than her, right? So maybe she's not as aggressive with the customer and selling, and she's not as good at it, right? But I'm willing to lose that deal or the next deal to get the next 25. I'm willing to lose. When I transitioned from me talking to all the customers to my loan partners, I lost a couple agents.
Yeah.
Right? And that's natural. But I was willing to lose 1, 2, 5 agents to get another 100 because, if I'm not getting back to the customers quick enough or the agents quick enough, no one wins. Right. And some people just want me on the phone. And if that's the case, I mean, listen, maybe sometimes doctor, lawyer, Indian chief executive, I'll take the first call. No big deal. But that's the exception, not the rule. But I can't talk to everyone because I just can't have that many conversations and be effective for my realtors, my customers, my family, myself. It's no fun working 15, 16 hours a day. I mean, you can only do that for so long, right?
Well, and with 4 kids and I mean, it's not a life of freedom. You become a
Mhm.
bondage to the phone call and you're a slave to your business as opposed to being an owner operator. Hey, that's so powerful. You need to be okay with losing this deal, and you're going to lose some. But if
Absolutely.
you'll let go of that deal, you'll gain 5 more because you've empowered and equipped people. I love what John Maxwell says. If they do it 80% as good as you, give it to them. Heck, Carl and I were talking the other day. We're like, dude, if they can do it as good as 70% as good as you, give it to them. Go get more.
Well, with some stuff they'll do better,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Like
They'll
run
get better.
AUS or get it.
Take it.
I've never. We switched to Optimal Blue. I'm embarrassed to
Yeah.
admit this on this call. We switched to Optimal Blue 4 years ago. I've
Yeah.
never logged in.
Oh, that's awesome.
You
That's
know,
so good, man. That's such a testament.
right?
I love it. Hey, now go back into this one. You were talking about implement quicker. So, what have you done to implement quicker? What does that mean to you? So, one of the things you would have told yourself or you wish you would have known was let go quicker. The other one was implement quicker.
Yeah. So I built a lot of half-built bridges. I think everyone is guilty of that.
Yep.
I probably more than most. I'd come back from the Freedom Club event or like a boot camp because I try to go. I never miss a Freedom Club event. I go to one boot camp a year. I'd come back with my hair on fire. I'd have all these ideas. We talk about it, get a third of the way done, or 90% of the way done, and never finish it. Never finish it.
Yep.
So part of the problem was me, right? So I just kept hiring, my who. So I got a marketing director that works for me and then the entire company. And I got a bunch of managers so we can push this stuff across the finish line. And I'm kind of the idea person.
Yep. Yep.
Have a brain dump. Here's what we're going to do. And then I kind of walk away.
That's it.
And I get not everyone can do that, right? Not everyone's in my position. But whatever you start, finish it, implement it, move on to the next thing.
That's great, brother. Hey, well, listen, I know we're coming to the top of our time, so give us some closing thoughts, man. What a great conversation, by the way. I'm so glad you jumped on.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful for you, Steve. I'm so thankful for the Freedom Club. You guys have given so much to me, so I'm always willing to give back to members. I guess my closing thought is don't get discouraged. We are in the toughest market in probably the history of mortgages.
Yeah.
I think even more difficult than 2008, 2009. It will get better. I have something on my desk. I'm going to read it. That one of my coaches gave it to me is success is neither magical or mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. So it's the DSP, it's the blocking and tackling.
That's it.
Everyone at my company who has done those items, they have found success. Bottom line, end of story.
Yeah. Dude, I love it. Hey, well, listen, if you're listening today and you say, hey, I want to know more about what Dave's talking about with the DSP, the Freedom Club. I know you even mentioned Irene's team training. Go to freedomplanningcall.com, freedomplanningcall.com. Myself, one of our team members will jump on a 45-minute call, walk you through it, and help you build a clear plan. Because, I think half of it is this, Dave. The people I'm talking to in the industry, it's not your fault. It's not their fault.
Sure.
No one knew the market would change. It's going to be okay. And now it's time for us to show you some of the things we're seeing other loan officers and other owners and operators and branch managers and the highest level producers in the country, just like yourself and myself and Carl's team and all of our teams are seeing great success because there's a proven plan. So go to freedomplanningcall.com. We'd love to walk you through helping you with a plan so you can have big success for the rest of the year. So, all right, my man. Well, I certainly appreciate it. Hey, let me say one other thing too. You know what, Dave? I think we ought to do this as an act of coolness. If you guys will do a review, go to wherever you consume podcast or the content here, and give us a review. Tell us how this podcast is making a difference in your life. We'd love that. And if you'll take a screenshot of it, one of the things we'd love to do, Dave and I will give you a copy of Carl White and Tammy Schneider's brand new book on AI for Loan Officers. So give us a review, take a screenshot of it, send it in an email to support@themarketinganimals.com, support@themarketinganimals.com. And then we're going to give you Carl and Tammy's brand new book, AI for Loan Officers. Man, brother, I tell you, we had a whole session in the Freedom Club event talking about the power of AI and how to utilize it and use it in your business effectively today. We're going to give you that book. If you'll give us a review, that's our ethical bribe, Dave. Ethical bribe.
That's okay, right?
Screenshot it, send it to support@themarketinganimals, and we want to put that book in your hands for free. AI for Loan Officers. So, Dave, thank you, my man. It's so good to connect with you. Thank you for all you do here in the industry, man.
Thank you for having me on, Steve.
All right, brother. Take care.
We'll see you.
See you.